The sound of crunching echoed through the basement of the secluded beach house. What was that? Emma screamed, burying her head deeper into her pillow. Her boyfriend Jack sat up in bed, listening intently. "Probably just the wind," he said, his eyes scanning the darkness of their surroundings. The wind, however, had a different explanation. Moments later, the crunching started again, and this time it sounded like whatever was making the noise was getting closer. "I'm scared, Jack," Emma whispered, her body trembling. He wrapped his arms around her, trying to project an image of calm. "Don't worry, love. I'll go check it out." He got out of bed and slowly approached the basement door. Each step creaked ominously, amplifying the tension in the still air. As he reached for the doorknob, the crunching stopped abruptly, replaced by an unsettling silence. "Hello?" Jack called out, his voice echoing in the darkness. "Is anyone there?" Silence. He turned the doorknob and slowly descended the stairs into the basement. Emma watched him go, her heart pounding in her chest. The basement was dark, dank, and filled with cobwebs. The air hung heavy with the smell of mildew and decay. Moonlight streamed through a grimy window, illuminating dust particles that danced in the air. In the far corner, something listened. Cautiously, Jack approached, his eyes struggling to pierce the gloom. As he drew closer, the glistening form began to take shape, revealing itself to be a monstrous creature with countless teeth and no eyes. Its jaws were wide open in a silent scream. "What the hell?" Jack exclaimed, stumbling backward. The creature lunged at him, its claws extended. Startled, Jack fell down the stairs and landed on the concrete floor with a thud. The creature loomed over him, its hot, fetid breath washing over his face. "Jaw," it hissed, its voice a guttural rasp. "You have trespassed into my lair. Now I shall feast upon your flesh." With a strength born of desperation, Jack scrambled away, adrenaline surging through his veins. He raced toward the stairs, each step a battle against the creature's relentless pursuit. As he reached the top of the stairs, he turned and yelled back at the creature, "Emma, help me." She came rushing, her face ashen, her eyes wide with terror. Together, they ran out of the basement and slammed the door shut, the sound of Jaw's enraged roars echoing behind them. Safe at last, they huddled together, their bodies shaking, their minds racing. The horrifying truth had finally sunk in. They were being stalked by a real-life monster. Now they had to find a way to escape. Will Emma and Jack be able to escape from Jaw? Or will they become another victim of the monster's insatiable appetite? Stay tuned to find out. If you want to grow, please subscribe. Horror movie fans, get ready to sink your teeth into this terrifying tale. It was a dark and stormy night. The wind was howling, and the waves were crashing against the shore. Inside a secluded beach house, two friends, Emma and Jack, were watching a horror movie. Suddenly, they heard a strange crunching noise coming from the basement. At first they ignored it, assuming it was just the wind. But as the noise continued, they became more uneasy. Emma suggested that they should probably check it out, but Jack was hesitant. He didn't want to go down there in the dark. Emma agreed, admitting that she was scared. Just then, the power went out, plunging them into darkness. They grabbed some flashlights and slowly made their way to the basement door. As they descended the stairs, the crunching noise grew louder and more menacing. When they opened the door, they were met with a sight that made their blood run cold. In the dim light, they could see the outline of a monstrous creature. It had a wide, toothy grin that stretched from ear to ear. Its eyes were pitch black, soulless pits. They screamed and tried to run, but it was too late. The creature lunged at them, its sharp teeth tearing into Jack's leg. He screamed in pain as the creature, which they later learned was named Jaw, dragged him into the darkness. Emma, desperate to save her friend, grabbed a nearby pipe and swung it at hitting it squarely in the head. The creature roared in anger and turned its attention to Emma. She screamed and ran, making a mad dash for the stairs. As she stumbled up the stairs, she could hear Jaw crashing after her, its heavy footsteps shaking the floor. She didn't dare look back. She just kept running. The image of Jaw's toothy grin burned into her mind. Finally, she reached the surface and collapsed on the lawn, gasping for breath. She looked back at the house, at the basement window, and what she saw made her blood run cold. Jaw was standing in the window, its eyes fixed on her, its mouth open in a silent scream. Then it disappeared. Did Jaw escape? Is it still out there hunting for its next victim? Maybe that's a story for another night. For now, let us just say that Emma never went back to that beach house, and the crunching in the basement still echoes to this day. So horror movie fans, did you like this terrifying tale? If so, don't forget to show your support. And why not share your own scary stories in the comments below? Who knows, maybe one of them will be featured in our next video. Until then, happy haunting.